a recent job promotion, which many of you probably know that if you are on my Facebook connections. And so I, in my interview, talked about the 3 R's because I had to speak to the president of the region, which scared me to death. And so I was like, okay, what can I tell him about my team? Because they wanted to know basically how I had 15 consecutive 100% compliancy rate with my team. And so, I thought, well, what has done that? What has made my team compliant with all their tasks for the last 15 weeks? Because that was pretty incredible. And so, I was kind of prepared for that because I had already spoken to the vice president prior to that, and she had asked me that same question. So I knew this was coming. So I was like, what has really, contributed to that? And so I thought about that a little bit, and I thought there was 3 R's to success that I felt like had helped me to build my team to that level. And so it was relate, respond, and react. And so what I did when I took over that market was, the market, first of all, was, let me back up just a little bit, but the market, when I took it over, had about a 60% compliancy. And the people were very discouraged. And so what contributed to that discouragement? Right. I had to find that root, first of all. I had to find that root to that discouragement. Why were they discouraged? There had been a lot of turnover. There had been a lot of change. There was a lot of different things that went on. And so how did I, change that, coming in there to that? And, I had to relate to the people. That was the first thing, because, as a new person coming into any business, you're coming in, you're the new guy, and all the employees or whoever it is you're dealing with, they're going, oh, here we go again, they're looking at you going, just another one, right? Okay, what are they going to tell us? So you have to relate to your people first of all. Before you bring anything to the plate, you got to relate to the people. And so I started relating to them on a personal level. Just talking to them about my family, talking to them about their family, relating to them. I found certain people love their pets. I have a pet, so I showed pictures of my pet, they showed me pictures of their pet, we talked on a personal level because I love my pet, so, we could relate to that, and so I became, someone they could talk to, someone they could relate to, that some of them had, parents that they were very passionate about. I'm passionate about my parents, so we talked about that. So I became someone they could really rely on in that. So building that trust back, someone that they thought, well, maybe this is somebody different. So I started that relationship first of all. So relate, the R word, right? Okay, then respond, all right? When they go out there to work, you find most people are not going to work because they love their job, first of all, okay? They're going to work because they need to bring in the money to pay their bills, okay? They're not going out there because, hey, I'm ready to go to work today, right? Okay? How many of you could say that, right? So they're going because they need to make that paycheck to put milk, on the table for their kids or whatever it be. So you want to help them to love their job, right? That's the goal, is to help people love their job because they spend most of their time at their job. Yep. So you want to change their mindset. So, I needed to respond to them when they had a need. They go out there in that workforce and they're around people with all different characteristics and challenges and, all these things. So, when they have a problem when they're out there in the workforce, and here I am as their new boss, they need me to solve their problem. They go out there and they're dealing with a manager who's having a bad day or whatever, and it may not be their fault, but maybe they need an answer, and they call me up. Maybe I can't answer the phone immediately, but I see their phone call come in, or they text me. I'm going to call them right back. I'm going to, respond to that message just almost within 5 minutes time. I'm going to get back to them. Or if I'm right busy, I'm going to text them and say, I'll get right back to you, okay? No matter if I'm on a conference call or whatever, get right back with you on a conference call. They know I've seen their message. They know I've heard them. They know that I'm going to respond. They don't see the pattern of the past, where are they at? What are they doing? They don't care. They know that I have acknowledged, I have responded to them in some way. I've acknowledged that they matter, okay? So I'm changing that mindset there by responding to them, okay? And then the next letter, the react, okay? Now I've responded, but now I'm going to react. I'm going to solve that problem, okay? So I'm going to do something to make it better for them. So now they've told me their problem. I've got this situation. I'm going to give you a perfect example of this. I had one lady. She had this display. And this display for 6 months needed a wheel. Simple, simple, simple. It needed a wheel. It leaned. Okay, and this was this little display. She had to fill it every week. She had this task. She had to go in there and she had to put these little things on this, these little stuffed animals and everything, and she'd get it done. She had to take a picture of it, but the display leaned. When she got done, she'd have to take her little pictures. The store manager was never happy with it because it leaned, you know, it didn't look pretty, but she still had to turn in her little picture. She'd go home every day with that leaning display, feeling like she hadn't done her best. She couldn't do anything about it because she couldn't put a wheel on that. She didn't have a wheel. The manager she had told prior, she had told them about the wheel needed replaced, but she couldn't do anything about that. The store manager was always disappointed. Why can't you get a wheel for this? But I've told the manager, you know, I've told him over and over and over, I'm sorry. And she'd go home feeling defeated in her job. Did she like her job? Not at that point. She felt defeated as a person. She didn't find value in her work. And so I said, she told me just out of the blue one day, because we had related, I had responded, and she said, you know, she said, I've been asking for a wheel for that, but you probably can't do anything about it, can you? And I said, yeah, I think we can. She said, oh, okay. She didn't really believe me yet. All right. She's like, okay. And I said, yeah, we'll get you a wheel. She's like, okay. Next week, I said, well, I've ordered your wheel. And she said, you did? And I said, yeah. I said, I got with the company, we've ordered your wheel. I said, it'll be shipped. I said, I'll let you know when it arrives and I'll bring it to you. Now, she said, you're gonna bring that to me? Don't you live in Dixon? Which was a 2.5-hour drive to her. And I said, yeah. I said, as soon as it comes in, I'll bring it to you. So I called her when it came in. And I said, I'm on my way with your wheel. She said, you are? And I said, yes, I am. She said, you're gonna drive up here to bring me a wheel? And I said, yes, I am. So you can fix your display. Her whole attitude changed. Everything changed. She took pictures of her display. She gets all her tasks in on time, done, completed. She's here to stay. She loves her job. So the response made all the difference in the world. Now you have an employee who does her work. She does it on time. She loves her job and she wants to go. So I think your success, you know, in whatever you're doing depends on those three things. You know, you relate, you respond, you react. And so when you do that on a simple little level, your people begin to change the way they work. They change the way they feel. And when people feel good about what they do, they go home at night, they lay their head down, they feel like, job well done. It carries over into their personal life too. And so you see, I mean, we know that in our own lives, right? When we do a good job, you know, that pat on the back, you know, we feel good about it. It carries over into our home life. And so I contribute those 3 R's to that 100% compliancy for 15 straight weeks. I think it makes a difference in the workforce. I think it makes a difference in life. And so I believe that that's how success takes place when we do those 3 R's. So I'm excited to see us carry that over into our workforce, into our family life and everything, because you want people who love their job. And I think everybody has value and everybody can feel that when we relate those 3 things to the people that we know and come in contact with.
Awesome.